Okay, so working on this project, you're going to need glue, scissors, markers, crayons, pens, pencils, whatever. You should have 2 pieces of paper. So 1, 2 that I've printed on cardstock, and follow the instructions. So you're going to cut on the solid line, and the dotted lines you're going to fold. So this is 1 of 2, and you'll have 2 of 2, and then there's a glue instruction at the end. So the first thing you're going to want to do is consider the following for this project. You're going to have an inside to your house and an outside to your house. So you need to determine right now, is this the inside and then the back will be the outside, or vice versa? This is the outside and this is the inside. My suggestion is to have this part be the inside so you can label it. And hopefully you can kind of get a sense of what it's going to look like. This peak is the roof, okay? So you have a couple options. One, if you have scissors, go ahead and cut it now and glue it together if you can. And to visualize it, up to you. Otherwise, wait and draw and then cut and glue later. So what you're going to want is determine inside or outside. So I'm going to pretend I'm going to use this as the inside. So I'm going to do a few things here. Alright, so you're going to have to label. Your instructions will be, you have to label the rooms. This is going to be the ground floor, because this is going to get folded. In fact, I'll go ahead and fold it now. Alright, so this will get folded, and this will be hidden. So you're going to have a room, a room, a room, a room. You'll have 4 rooms, and you'll have a roof or an attic. So you can have a Dachboden if you want. I suggest that every house have a bedroom, a bathroom, a kitchen, a dining room. Schlafzimmer, Küche, Wohnzimmer, Esszimmer. And go ahead and label those first. So, zum Beispiel, I will have this room be das Badezimmer, and I'm going to call this room das Wohnzimmer. Alright, so think of it as a rectangle in terms of volume. So this whole square will be my living room. This square plus triangle shape, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this sort of weird 5-sided polygon, not quite a pentagon, will be the bathroom. So your job is to include 3 to 5 items that would go in those rooms. Sketch them out, they don't have to be perfect, and label them. So I'll do one quick example with the bathroom. I think I'll do the Wohnzimmer. So hopefully you can see this. So I would have, this is not my best drawing here. So pretend this is right. So das Sofa. All right, not the best sofa in the world, but hopefully you can kind of see that. All right, so I would have das Sofa. Maybe I have a right der Tisch, right? And I can certainly go ahead and label those. I can color those. So a minimum of 3 to 5 items in each room, and then do the same for the bathroom. What would go in the bathroom? All right, and then you can use this as an attic space, or if you want to have an extra room, you can. So you'll have 5 rooms really then. Okay. So pretend I've gone ahead and labeled everything on the inside of my house. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut it all out. So, as a reminder, I said cut on the solid line. So I'm going to cut on the solid line here. Do it as best as you can. Cut on the solid line. Cutting on the solid line. To the best of my ability. Now watch right here. I still have to cut. Boom, there we go. But still staying just on the solid line. Don't cut the dotted lines. Doing my best here. You know, it's okay if you're off a little bit. Not quite done. I'll come back for that space in a second. Alright, so now I can cut this. Boom. Alright, oops, tore that, be careful. So I did cut here. Alright, pretend I've gone ahead and done my other 2 rooms. So let me do die Küche and das Schlafzimmer. And in the Schlafzimmer I would have, right, a bed, and then like a Kopfkissen, right? So here's the das Bett. Alright. Not the perfect drawing, but it'll do. I'm going to cut this one out on the solid lines. Following instructions. Cutting on the solid lines. Alright. So this is me just doing the inside of the house. Haven't even touched the outside of the house. Alright. So, cutting on the solid lines. Solid lines, solid lines. Alright. So I've cut the solid lines now. The instructions say to fold on all the dotted lines. So I'm going to fold. I'm going to fold inside, right? Because this is my house from the inside. Now the only part that you're not gonna fold here, right? A to B, the instructions say follow glue instructions at the end, and this says glue to B, and this says glue to A. So we won't follow those instructions yet. Alright, I have to fold here, fold those on the inside. Alright, so now you can kind of see this house is starting to be established. I'm gonna fold here, I'm gonna fold in here. Oh, I've already folded some of those. Fold in here, fold, fold, fold. Try to get it as best as you can, and fold, right? So this is 2 rooms, and then this becomes the roof. It basically also kind of makes a little box, and then we'll assemble it so all together it'll end up looking like this. Alright, so your job is to glue to A or to glue to B. You decide. You're going to want to let this sit and dry. So what I would do is at least glue one of them down, and then you can finish designing the rest of this house. So now I can finish designing, you know, the bedroom, the kitchen, the living room. So Badezimmer, Wohnzimmer, Küche, Schlafzimmer. This could be maybe a bureau, or it could be the Dachboden. I can make it the attic. I can make it another room of the house and design it. So once everything's done in the inside, then before I glue the other half together, I would go ahead and flip it over, and now I have to design the outside. Now here is where I made a mistake, okay? I used a permanent marker. What does a permanent marker do? It bleeds through. Don't do that, okay? Use markers or crayons that won't bleed through. Alright, so now that I have the outside of my house, you have a few things you have to do. One, somewhere on the roof, you have to put mein Haus. Right, this is mein Haus. You have to include a Haustür, and you have to have Fenster. So you need windows and you need a main door. You can include a chimney if you wish, whatever other elements you want. So I'm going to make the front of my house. All right, and that's die Haustür. Right, there's the house door. I'm going to have some fensters. I'm going to put a fenster here, fenster here. You know, take your time. This would not get an A in my book. This is just to kind of show you. Label it. Das Fenster. You also have to say my house on the roof. So it can be on the front of the roof or the back, wherever you want it to be. So you say mein Haus and include your name. so I know whose this is. So Mein Haus and Frau Burau. So once everything is colored and designed, now we're going to glue the last part. So A to A, we're going to glue B to B. This gets a little tricky here. I think it's easier to put the glue on the flat part, not on the folded part. Now, I'm going to press that down. I'm going to have to hold this because I'm gluing it from the inside. Alright, go ahead and let that dry a bit before I finish the assembly. Alright, so now it's starting to look like a house a little bit. I've labeled everything, or you will have labeled everything. To enclose the bottom, simply do as follows. Inside flaps. Oh, sorry, I did this wrong. My fault. You want the table flap first, and then you put the inside flaps. And then this little guy, this little mountain, is the one that gets slid in. Oops. Gets slid in there. Alright, so do the bottom part first. You might have to. There we go. Alright. So now this is folded. Didn't have to glue that. Alright. And now it kind of creates, it's almost like a little gift box, right? And now all I do is I fold the roof over and tuck it in. May need to trim a little bit. And that's okay. That happens. So. Awesome. So, here's your house. It's totally finished. I would label the roof. You can label a wall. If you want to include like a fence or grass, label everything. Alright? And the more you label, and the more you label correctly, the more points you'll get, the higher the grade. So watch out for that. Now, you're not going to want to turn it in like this. Make sure it folds like this. It's going to be a little harder to carry in your backpack to turn in. So, all you need to do is open the roof, push out the bottom, and you can turn it in flat like this. It'll fit in a folder. And there you go. That's a little bit of your house project. Boom. Danke.